6 o'clock. I'd like to call this regular board meeting of the Hicksville Exempted Village Board of Education to order. Roll call, please.
Carrier. Here. Iden.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Mazur. Here. And Wonderly.
Here.
Thank you to our visitors that are here. We're very glad to have you. Let's stand and say the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do I have a motion for our proclamation recognizing APT Manufacturing Solutions?
I'll move.
Jen, thank you.
I'll second.
Craig, thanks. Whereas APT Manufacturing Solutions has completed the 2018-19 school year as an off-site educational facility for students interested in pursuing a future in manufacturing and engineering. Whereas it is especially desirous at this time to publicly express the appreciation of the Hicksville administration and the Board of Education and commend APT Manufacturing Solutions and their employees for their continued contribution to the Hicksville students involved in their program. Whereas it is proper and fitting to accord official recognition to this corporation for their outstanding community service to the students at Hicksville High School. Now therefore, we as the administration and members of the Hicksville Exempted Village Schools Board of Education issue this proclamation as a tribute of appreciation from the entire Hicksville Exempted Village School District. In witness thereof, we have hereunto subscribed our names and have properly entered this resolution into the minutes of the Hicksville Exempted Village Schools Board of Education meeting this 26th day of June, 2019. Discussion?
We love that program out there at APT and how it services the kids that we have, and we feel sometimes like we get special treatment. We like that. Anything we can get extra for our kids, we're happy for. So thank you very much to everybody out there.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We are very appreciative of all your work. Thanks. Roll call, please.
Carrier. Yes. Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazur.
Yes.
And Wonderly.
Yes.
The motion carried 5-0. Do I have a motion for the following proclamation?
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, Steph and Jared. Whereas Riley Figgins, Harley Schumann, and Michaela Sullivan have completed the 2018-19 season by qualifying for the state track meet. And whereas it is especially desirous at this time to publicly express the appreciation of the Hicksville administration and the Board of Education and to commend these athletes and their coaches for this fine achievement. And whereas it is proper and fitting to accord official recognition to these athletes and coaching staff for this outstanding example of what dedication and talent can accomplish. Now therefore, we as the administration and members of the Hicksville Exempted Village Schools Board of Education issue this proclamation as a tribute of appreciation from the entire Hicksville Exempted Village School District and urge our citizenry to approve and support those events that honor these fine young adults and the coaches for bringing recognition and honor to the Hicksville Exempted Village School District. In witness thereof, we have hereunto subscribed our names and have properly entered this resolution into the minutes of the Hicksville Exempted Village Schools Board of Education meeting this 26th day of June, 2019. Any discussion?
A big special thanks to Riley for representing our school so well down at state. Very proud of
Yes.
you, and Harley, and Michaela as well, and that's quite an accomplishment. How
Yes.
many kids in that particular event were there, do you know?
In our division,
20-some? Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Congratulations.
Lots of hard work. Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Carrier. Yes. Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazur.
Yes.
And Wonderly.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
How did that happen?
Nobody
Yeah.
notices. Good catch.
Nice.
Motion carried.
Can we get that picture now then?
Motion carried 5-0. Yes, let's do a picture. If you two ladies
Yeah.
would come forward, please.
Are we all in this picture?
Separate or
Yeah,
together?
we are.
Do you want to do it back there or
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
in front of the orchard?
Okay, in the orchard? Okay.
products.
I did, and lip gloss, and I bought me a new perfume.
You went to Ulta. Did you go to Ulta?
I went to Ulta and then Sally's, and then I came back. I went to Arby's right there at Maple,
Right.
and got back at what, 20 after.
Funny how if you don't have certain things, you're like,
Yeah. I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get this, and like I tried yesterday not to have my hairspray, and I was like,
right.
"Ah,
I can't do that.
I'm too
either.
vain.
My hair has a mind of its own.
Yes, my hair's just so thick.
Mine's just so thin.
So it's just,
Online,
what'd she ask?
where we got those matching suits.
Didn't they look cute? It was very cute.
I doubt there's many years I can pull that off before they like, Dad,
Yeah.
knock it off.
I don't know. I can see you as a dad being the one that, you know, picks your kids up off the bus stop wearing a T-Rex costume, or you will figure out a way. My husband did one of those blow up hippo ones to gymnastics one time. My daughter just turned around and walked back in.
Okay. Principal reports. Andy, you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
Just a few past items to discuss. On May 23rd, we had the Defiance County Shake, which I know I had mentioned last month, but we did send our top 5 students from our shake: Mackenzie Enderly, Elise Baldwin, Josie Smith, Jacob Beverly, and Owen Stuckey, and they all did a great job representing our school. And once again, we were fortunate enough to come away with the champion. We're the only ones to have ever won the competition. So Jacob Beverly did a great job all afternoon and then as well in the evening portion. So congratulations to Jacob for being the Defiance County Shake champion. The preliminary results of testing came back this week, or earlier this summer, I guess, so far. And again, testing scores have looked great. Great job by our students, teachers. A lot of effort goes into those. And it's good to once again see that we did very well. We'll have a lot more on that in September once the grade card becomes finalized, but all of the preliminary results for all of us look very good and very promising. I really wanted to just touch on 2 things real quickly. I think I talked about the tackle program earlier in the year. We have a young lady by the name of Caitlin Gaisford who's been coming in, and it's been a great program at no expense to the school. She services 24 kids inside of school, outside of school during the summer, and just does all kinds of coping mechanisms, building relationships with these kids that need it. And it's been like an additional guidance counselor, and it's been an awesome program for us. Well, Caitlin was lucky enough to have passed all of her tests, and she is now able to offer therapy to our students here as well. And that's all run through the Medicare and Medicaid program if those students qualify for that. So because of that, we're going to have an additional person out here next year. So we'll actually qualify to have 2 tackle workers working for our school next year. And again, working with some kids that are maybe at risk or kids that are identified as needing a little bit of additional help outside of just our traditional guidance counselors. So we're very excited about that. And I think it's been a great program for us all the way through, and we're excited about having Caitlin here again as well as someone else. Speaking of kids who need a little bit of extra help, one thing that Mrs. Chamberlain had done this year was she started a program that was kind of like groups during lunch periods, just different kids who needed to meet about different topics and kind of find other kids who are going through the same thing as them, struggles as them. Well, there's a couple of programs out there that Mrs. Chamberlain brought to me and along with Mrs. Kaufman, and we're going to implement them this coming school year, which I'm excited about. One is called the ROCKS program. It's for teenage girls, and it's ruling our experiences. It's about handling pressure, conflict, standing up for themselves, having respect for themselves, confidence, and then handling relationships, which I think, and especially in the middle school, is a really influential time. That's a big time for those things for those young ladies. So Mrs. Chamberlain is going to be a trained facilitator of that, and we'll start that second semester of next year, but it's a program that I'm really excited about. And I said, okay, but what about the boys? Because the boys need something too. And so she's been looking into it, and there's called the Building Champions program. Same kind of idea, having respect for yourself, your classmates, the female young ladies that they have in their class being better citizens, and she will also be a trained facilitator of that. So kind of a couple different programs that we're going to kick off throughout next year, but Mrs. Chamberlain's excited about, and I'm excited about, and I think it'll be good for our middle school kids. That's what I have.
Quick question about the billing, or Medicare, Medicaid, whichever one. Do they only cater to the ones that they can bill for?
They have a couple of different billing methods, and what we do is kind of refer them to those people. Then they reach out and they work with several insurances, and then Medicare, Medicaid. I don't know exactly what all insurances they work with, but it doesn't come.
Okay, so it's not just,
They have a couple of, it's primarily Medicare and Medicaid, but I know that they do work with several insurance companies as well.
okay.
So,
And some of our most at-risk kids are coming from some families that, that lower socioeconomic group, and that's why they are getting into the schools and utilizing the Medicaid payer group. I mean, honestly, that's why it doesn't cost us anything but space.
Do we, because I know we did this years ago, but does Liz Perna, does she do anything that would bill for Medicare, Medicaid?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, our speech
Okay,
therapist.
that's
She
what I
does,
thought.
and so does Julie
Yeah.
Simon.
Okay,
Stephen, yeah. They both turn in monthly reports to Medicaid, and we receive funding for that.
okay. Ballpark, I mean, do we have any idea how much we usually get a year from that? I mean, is it?
Probably about 30 to 50, I'd say, maybe.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a good range.
Because also the ESC, their therapists come, and they're also supposed to be billing, identifying our students, and then billing that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Kirsten?
Well, I'll just piggyback on what Andy has said about some of the programs that Robin's going to be implementing. We are also implementing at the K-4 level the zones of regulation, and I just was able to secure a webinar that our K-4 teachers will be participating in on Friday, August 23rd. And this is all paid through that grant that was written last spring. And zones of regulation is basically a program where the students will be able to identify how and why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, and using color charts, using green if they're feeling very good, yellow if they're beginning to, not understand their feelings on the inside, but they're always trying to reach up to get back into the green. And so I'm really excited to implement this program because I'm hoping that we can all be on a universal language, even special teachers. And the kids will be able to come in the morning and put a little magnet where they're starting their day, getting off the bus. Today I feel in the blue zone, or today I feel in the yellow zone, but you're always trying to work up to get to the green zone. And so they'll be learning different strategies. I envision, and I've talked to Erin Montgomery, our new school counselor, briefly about it. She's super excited about it. I know our tackle people knew a lot about it. In fact, I had the speech pathologist come in from Fairview, and she goes, "Oh, zones of regulation, this is amazing. You guys are doing this?" So, I mean, it's a very good program. And so I know Erin's gonna help teach some of the lessons, 2 to 3 of the first lessons, and then we're just gonna slowly navigate through it this school year. Some of the other things that I've been focusing on this month is we are going to slowly start taking baby steps toward the PBIS at the elementary, and it's PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports, and so it's basically just kind of retraining our minds to approach things in a positive manner. Like an easy example, instead of writing a student's name on the board for not getting work done, maybe do an incentive chart that when the kids get things done, they're putting a sticker for getting things done, and then you reward for how many stickers at the end, rather than pointing out the kids all the time that aren't finishing things. And so some of the things that we're gonna do next year is I've found positive office referrals, that a teacher can send a student down with. Maybe if a teacher needs a break from a student, we're going to do colored folders with some activities on the inside. So when I see that folder come down in the activities, I'll just have the student sit down there for 10-15 minutes, work on it, and then I will actually keep the paper as documentation, letting myself, see kind of the paper trail of who's being sent down there. And once we get to maybe 3 referrals of breaks, then we can start talking about the next step. I found another thing that the teachers will keep for each student, 50 free positive incentives for students. Like maybe take their shoes off during an assignment, or, just fun little ways to make it fun for doing things well. We're also going to, and I'm also going to be working on an office referral form for disciplinary measures as well, to see all the different interventions that the teacher has tried before sending them down to me. And this all ties into the PBIS. So we'll collect the data this year, and then next year start making up a school matrix of different expectations and things that we need to see in the hallway, need to see in the bathroom, in the cafeteria. So that's what June has been. Tools for Schools, those ladies are going to be at it again this summer, and I will be putting something out on Facebook letting parents know that if their children qualified for free and reduced lunches last year, that they again can qualify for this program. And they would just need to be getting the information to them by July 26th, and then the pickup for all of their school supplies would be August 13th and 14th at the Lifeline Connect Ministry Center. So I'll be putting that information on Facebook. And then we have Kindergarten Jumpstart Camp coming up August 12th through the 16th. We've invited 18 students to that this year. Mrs. Brown will be teaching it. In the past, we have offered 2 classes, but this year we're only going to offer 1. It's from 9 o'clock to 2. This is a time that these little kiddos can work on academic skills, motor skills, practicing, a kindergarten routine, and participating in some related art activities before, like, the school year starts the following week. And this is provided by the United Way of Defiance. So thanks to them.
How many years have they done that, Kirsten?
I want to say maybe 2 years before I got here, so I want to say maybe 8 years. It's an amazing program.
Yeah.
We're not trying to teach all of those kids their skills a week before they get here. It's just those that haven't been to preschool yet, just working on lining up and listening to instructions and sitting on your bottom. So it is an amazing program. So a little chaotic the first day.
And that's nice that United Way's paid for it that many years. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah, they pay for a teacher, an aide, they pay for the lunches, and then every child will go home with 2 to 3 books, and then some supplies. And luckily, the school picks up transportation needs for these children to get here, because unfortunately, the ones that are typically invited don't have a means of getting here. So it's a great program.
Great. Okay, thank you. Jeff?
All right, hard to believe we're at the end of June already. It seems like this month has gone by so fast, but reflect on a few big events that occurred in the district. Number one, the innovative interview winner was Colin Dury. He was one of 3 finalists with Jack Figgins and Ivy Ramajan in Mrs. Leon's class. And I know that took place on May 14th, but we do not announce the winner until the high school awards banquet, which was the second to last day of school. So congratulations to Colin. And again, just a great opportunity to work on soft skills and something for, post graduation, opportunities for these kids to I guess have an opportunity to prepare themselves for competing for a job. On Tuesday, May 21st, also was the 4-County Career Center Recognition Day, a great event. If you've never been to that event, it's actually quite amazing how many people are there. I mean, there has to be close to 2,000 people at that recognition day, excuse me. But again, great job to all of our 4-County Career Center students. And then, of course, on Sunday, June 2nd, we had our commencement that took place at the high school, the gymnasium. A big thank you to everyone, of course, that was involved in preparing for that day. Mrs. Welling doesn't get enough credit for that. She does a ton for that, and I know she's not always at the event to be recognized, and I always, say lots of nice things about her. But again, she keeps things organized. She does a lot of the fine-tuning of these events, and we couldn't do it without her. So again, Mrs. Welling, thank you. And of course, congratulations to all our graduates. Exciting time. Future events, just a couple things. I know on Tuesday, July 9th, and we've rescheduled this a couple times now, Craig and I, along with Jay Turnbull, we're going to meet and discuss the Hall of Fame. We're going to start kind of laying the groundwork of the pros and the cons, what we're all thinking that we'd like to see. Again, infancy stages of this, but we need to get that going and actually sit down and get some notes and have some discussion on that. So I'm excited to get that started, and hopefully we can have some good conversation on what direction we want to go with that. In July, there's no set date for this yet, but current and returning students to the K-12, or excuse me, I guess grades 1 through 12 for the 1920 school year, we'll send out information on updating information through Final Forms. Because of EMIS reporting through PowerSchool, we do not roll over kids yet until all that reporting is done to the state, because once we roll those kids over, they all go and become, a freshman becomes a sophomore becomes a junior, and it can mess up the data that's sent down to the state. But also, when we roll it over in Power School, it automatically rolls over in Final Forms too. So we cannot, I guess, establish that for a returning student until after the EMIS reporting is done. Now, new students to the district, the kindergartners coming in, or if someone moves to our community and enrolls their student, they're fine because they're brand new to the system. So again, we'll send out information when we're ready for that, but it's supposed to be an easy process. Again, if you live in the same location, it should be as simple as maybe updating a cell phone number, maybe if a student's going to be in a new sport that they have not participated in. So again, we're hoping it's going to be a simple transition there. Discussion items. Again, I know Mr. Hunter hit on this already. The 2019 state end of course assessment preliminary scores are out. And again, that data does look very good. We always want to pass everything and do our best on everything and be number one. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's difficult. Again, the current data we've received is for all students that we tested. And I think it's important to say that the final scores that we receive for our report card rating, that's based on who we're accountable for. And you have to be in our district for 120 days for us to be accountable for you. So we have kids that move in and out of this district who, in our general scores, we almost get like two separate scores. We get, this is who you tested, and this is how you did. Now, this is your final scores and who you're accountable for, because you had them for 120 or more days of the school year. That's the information we're waiting on. There's a discrepancy report. We will get to dismiss some kids, but at the same time, we have kids that pass the test that we lose off that also. So, again, we'll have the final data for that here this fall, and we'll be looking to report that. And, without letting the cat out of the bag, I guess, as soon as we get these scores, all these administrators start texting and calling and and I will say we did not pass every indicator as of right now, but we did very, very well. And the ones that we did not pass, we're talking to these other districts, and we're scoring in some areas 20, 30 percentage points higher than all the other districts I've spoken to, yet we didn't pass. So, we have to remember that our teachers that are in tested areas take this stuff very seriously, and that's a good thing, and that's where it starts. And they're disappointed. And I tell them, it's like, be calm, wait, let's see where we stack up to everyone else, because if you, let's say, scored a 73% in a tested area, and you failed because you have to have at least 80% proficiency rate, we might find out that your 73% was the second highest in the 6-county area. Don't feel bad, and that's kind of what we're waiting on right now. So we'll see how that goes. But again, great job to everyone in our district, staff and students alike. We met with Northwest State Community College on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. The days are just running together. But we have that satellite campus coming in this fall. We're excited about that. We currently have 10 students signed up to take that course. That's based and focused on skilled trades, industrial technology, manufacturing, things like that. Unfortunately, the gentleman we were working with is no longer with Northwest State, so it's been reassigned to another gentleman, and he's kind of picking up the pieces because he's kind of going off of notes and some incompleted items. So he's trying to get together some programming there. I was glad he came over because, number one, I got to meet him, but also we got to discuss kind of what our vision was, and to me, and of course Mr. Countryman was there, our goal is to make this as exploratory as possible. And so, what we're recommending and discussing is building off of our STEAM program, which has grown, that Mr. Farrell has really, started, from scratch, and give an opportunity for our high school kids to utilize what we currently have on campus as we build our STEAM lab and classroom. And then, of course, Northwest State's going to provide maybe some simulators, whether it's a welding simulator, maybe a FANUC robot, something that they can bring in and, hit. Don't focus an entire semester on electrical or mechanical engineering, but, do units throughout the semester focused on, welding, electrical, mechanical, design, get into programming, that type of idea, because when these kids are getting to be juniors and seniors and they're thinking about college, and they've experienced what that's about, and get them out into these different manufacturing companies to see how it's utilized on site, we think we'll have a better success rate in getting these kids into that skilled trade that they will have some sort of passion for, or to get them enrolled in a 2-year or 4-year school without wasting time with changing majors. So that's kind of the goal there. But the one thing that they did discuss, and I thought it was a good topic for them to bring up to us, was they want it to be a sustainable program, and that's great that they're thinking that way. And you know, the main reason they're coming this way is because you know, these colleges and universities, they're competing for kids, and they're asking, why are kids not coming to Northwest State for College Credit Plus from Hicksville? And I said it's because Northwest State is 40 minutes that way, and little Timmy's mom doesn't want him driving in December because you go and cancel classes out there, honestly. And so getting them here is a great opportunity, but they also know that there's going to be an influx of student interest each year. So one thing they kind of threw by us that I thought was good for us too is, you know, if the numbers are, let's say 8 to 10 a year, they'd rather see 15 to 16 kids in that program. They asked us if we would have any interest in allowing them to open it up to surrounding schools to where maybe 2 students from Edgerton or a student from Antwerp could come to Hicksville's campus and be a part of this program also. And I spoke to Keith, and I know Linda and I in passing spoke, and I think it's a good idea. Because again, it's keeping our kids here, and then of course we're bringing other kids to our campus too, so they can see, hopefully see a bunch of great things going on here, and they can share it with their schools. So,
Do we have the space for it?
we're utilizing our community room. We're going to put that partition up, and they're going to have the front part of the community room as their satellite campus lab, and then the back part of that room. Tim Schock and Lucas Smith are sharing that room for their health classes, and I think there's a wellness course that's kind of a split between the gym and health time in the middle school. So right now, yes, Mr. Farrell, of course, took over Amber Zachary's room over here. That's going to be the STEAM lab room, and that's where everything's going to be stored. Mrs. Zachridge is moving down to Mrs. Sweet's room, and she's going to be with the other math teachers down there. So we've a little bit of shifting, trying to maximize our opportunity with the space that we currently have.
Not to bring up a bad subject, but did I see the House bill has changed the graduation requirements yet again?
Actually, I was going to bring that up, but I didn't want to hit on that because I'm kind of excited about it. It would actually be somewhat of a good thing.
Okay.
I think it passed in the Senate, and I know like our association that we're a part of, and I know Andy got this email the other day too. You know, they reached out to us and were asking us, your opinion on it, and it's really, I mean, they do a nice job of communicating effectively with the principals around the state, and they're actually discussing going from the 7 tested areas that we do in the high school to equal the 18 total points, to going down to 2 tests, testing just algebra and ELA, and then they're looking to, if you pass those 2 tests, and of course there's like a second piece of it where everyone will earn a diploma based on the credits that you pass, which I think the state minimum is, 18 or 20 now? We're at 23 credits to graduate. And then you have the state test you pass. That's like, everyone has to do that, okay? But then they're saying the second part would be, for example, you have your kids that are fully engaged in athletics and those type of opportunities. There's a certain seal that you will get that would go in your diploma. If you are in the fine arts, choir, band, stuff like that, there's a seal that would go with that diploma, and you'd meet that credential. And then, of course, if you were at Fort County Career Center and you're earning a career technical certification, you would receive a seal. So what's neat about it is everyone will be getting a diploma, but also that secondary piece would be tailored towards the individual student and their interests and what they're good at. And that's what's nice. And I like it because I think it promotes engagement, involvement in the school. Because part of being in the school isn't just the academic piece in the classroom with the textbook. It's also being involved in the choir and the band and the athletic teams and Fort County representing your school over there, or an APT type experience. So I think it passed. I think I could be wrong on that, but I thought it passed in the Senate. But now it wouldn't go into effect until the next year's freshmen. So we would continue the process of the 7 tests and the 18 points until I believe the class of 2023. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Denny sent me the report. Fort County's budget was $593,000 ahead of the fall forecast. The main reason for the increase in revenue is money from the new utilities gas pipeline project. That's up and running within the four-county area. The 5-year forecast for them now, with that extra money, has the school at over $1 million in surplus. Senior Recognition Day was May 14th. The board toured the new house that was built by the junior-senior classes. Very well done, in Denny's opinion. He said in his 6 years, he thinks it's the best one to date. Great instructors. Four-County Finance Committee has a meeting June 27th. They're still working on getting their lunchroom to at least break even. After all these years and with different management, nothing really has seemed to work on the long term for them. And then he said he has nothing else new today. They have a meeting on Thursday. So that was last month's meeting report from him. Keith, Superintendent's report.
The safety plan has been certified and we're finally compliant, and that may not sound like a big deal, but Lord.
It was a process.
It's a process, and we, they find every little thing, which is the way it's supposed to be, but all my administrators also get a notification too, and they start sending these notifications in January, but it's really not, you don't have to have it done until June 15th. And so they're always like, who does this? Who does this? And so Eric and John and I sit down and we do it, and they actually provide a form that makes it pretty nice. But in the end, we just had to change a couple things, which were real minor. They walked me through that process, and then I kept waiting and checking the website to see that it said compliant, and it didn't. And the only reason I kept checking is because the ESC has to know because of the preschool. So it was actually, as of today, I got an email that said we're compliant, so I got on my SAFE account, and it says that we are compliant, so hooray. I spent a lot of time in June here gathering information regarding the architect and the building planning and the process that we need to go through that, which I'll share some of that when we get to discussion items. I have all the pictures printed for the school that'll be swapped out, 270 some pictures. So that's always a big project. And I have 2 reports to complete for the grants that we were awarded that I have to have done by July, showing how we use the grant money. And I'm excited about the sensory room that we're gonna have up there. So I don't wanna show it to you yet, but we're getting some counters and stuff taken out of it, and we're really pumped about that room and how it's gonna be utilized. And I think they even have a teacher scheduled occasionally where kids can be sent up there and they'll be monitored by a teacher.
Yeah, we'll have somebody up there on all schedules at the beginning of the day, towards the end of the day, and then right after lunch recess.
And then, of course, a teacher could go up anytime on their own. So, yeah, we really are excited about that. And then just, completing normal end-of-the-year duties, which are less, because I'm spending more time getting ready for the new year. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so that room, that's beside the elevator?
Mhm.
Okay, so where are the title people gonna be that used to be in there?
Well,
Everywhere.
we have
There is a
actually,
small area in
we
there
have
that-
2 areas in there that where they can still store their stuff and operate from there, but they'll probably have to work in the halls like they did a lot last year. And
We've had to be very creative, because we're adding also tackle people too, and, Mr. Clark, and so we've been kind of creative coming up with spaces.
Okay.
I have been fielding a lot of questions from people wanting to know about the solar field. Do we have an estimated date on that? Because it seems like the can keeps getting kicked down the road.
It does, Craig, you're right. And actually, where we're at now, and I'm not going to be able to give you all the technical information, but the big generator thing that's back there in the back of the school has to be changed, swapped out.
The generator needs to be.
I don't know if it's the generator.
Okay, I was gonna say, 'cause that would be like
Yeah, not the generator.
40,000.
There's an electrical unit. And
Okay.
Eric, just touch base with me a little bit on it, so I don't know what it's called, sorry.
That's it.
But that's gonna have to be swapped out, so we're kind of waiting to see if that's gonna have to also be swapped out with the new addition because of adding the extra electrical.
Cover the panel, the electrical panel, where everything comes together.
Yeah, I think there's 3 lines coming in, we have to have 4, is what it is. And so they're kind of holding off now to see if that has to be swapped out because then it would be part of the project. And
That makes sense.
so we're kind of at a standstill.
So, I mean.
Because we've been working on that for like, geez,
It
yeah,
seems like
a long
it's been
time.
a while going on. So if we as a district have to spend a bunch of money in upgrades, are we locked into the solar field? So let's say all of a sudden it comes back and we have to spend 40, 50 grand on something. Are we locked in? Could we say, you know what, after further thought,
Scrap it.
there's expenses that came up, could we back out if we wanted to? Do you know?
I think so. I mean, I don't know the answer to that for
Okay.
sure, Craig. That's a good question. I can check that out and let you know, but, I mean, they've not met their timeline either already, so I think there's a lot of bend either way on that. I'll find that out.
That's, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe next board meeting,
Sure.
Eric will probably be here at that one,
Yeah.
and we can ask that question too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no rush.
And we'll know by then too.
Okay.
We should. Any other questions?
Okay. Next, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Changed.
What one changed?
Yeah, we need to change something.
Okay,
On
it's on page 13. No,
13.
sorry, 12.
12. On page 12, where we're recommending Steph as the class advisor, as receiving 1/3 of the pay, that can't happen, so she's just gonna be a volunteer, is what she's going to be.
Okay,
And then where, on page 13, where it says Eric Kroll, freshman class advisor, 1/3, that should be changed to 1/2. And they don't have the other half yet,
okay,
so they're still looking for that.
all right.
That correct, Steph? Did I
Yeah,
get that?
yeah, we have several.
And the reason is Steph can't receive pay as a board member for that position.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the following consent agenda with that change, those 2 changes?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, Craig and Jen, thanks. Roll call, please.
Carrier? Yes. Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes and financials?
I'll move.
Okay, Jared and Steph seconded. Okay. All right, the minutes from the regular and the special board meetings on May 20th, 2019, and minutes from the special board meeting on June 3rd, 2019. Recommend to waive the reading of the board minutes unless otherwise stated. Treasurer's report, cash reconciliation as of May 2019, financial statements for May 2019. Recommend the board approve the establishment of the following fund, 2009723, the class of 2023, the freshmen. Recommend the board approve participation in the following federal funding projects for fiscal year 2020, establish accounts and appropriate funds as indicated below. High Schools That Work, Idea B, Title II, Title I, ESCE, Title IV. I notice it's in there twice
Yeah,
with the
just,
same number.
we're scratching one, I thought.
Okay, all right, that's what I figured. All right. Item 6, recommend the board approve the following petty cash and change funds accounts for fiscal year 2020. Change fund, cafe, $60, elementary, $50, athletics, $1,500, treasurer, $2,150. Petty cash, athletic checking, $2,500, high school, $125. Approve final changes to the fiscal year 2019 permanent appropriations as presented. Approve fiscal year 2020 temporary appropriations. Approve the amended official certificate of estimated resources for fiscal year 2019. Accept the following donations: $300 from Hicksville Athletic Boosters for the track, $1,249 from the Hicksville PTO for the elementary art. Any discussion? Okay, Melissa, anything about the treasurers or?
Just a couple little things, nothing major. The ending cafeteria balance as of the end of May was negative $13,524.57. Revenues for the month of May were up slightly from May of 18, mainly due to increased receipts from student and adult lunches, with monthly expenses reflecting a slight increase, mainly due to May 2019 being a 3-pay month. So you kind of
Okay.
saw some changes there. Basically, we, at the end of July, when I turn around and give you guys the estimated cash flow based on 2018 numbers, I'm thinking we might end up around like negative 6,800. But I'm still thinking we might be within 6,000 to 12,000 that we may have to transfer here. I was gonna run something before I came down and I kind of forgot to do that, but I think we should be right in that ballpark. Workers' comp, I had got a hold of, we had to have some information in. I proceeded forward with continuing our contract with Sheakley Unicom as the district's third-party workers' comp provider, which I had talked to Keith about it too. It was the lowest, what they had provided us quote-wise. Comp Management was the other one that had quoted on that. But Sheakley has done a great job for us, and they also, I spoke to someone there, they had given 2 quotes, one for group rating and the one for retro, and we went ahead and just did the group rating. Casey, we'll just say that we have an outstanding claim that is still, we haven't had anything on that for a while, but there's still numbers out there that it's still a potential risk. So we just kind of want to hold on and see. We could have probably got a better rate with the retro program, a little bit of a discount there, but then that also has higher risk as you could turn around and pay more in the end. So we just are sticking with group rating. Everything else, everything was fairly uniform from what it has been month after month. The only thing that we did have was the 3 payrolls in May kind of impacted some of our numbers a little bit, but we're right there where we should be. So does anyone have any questions for me?
Do you remember, did we have, how much we had to transfer at the end of last year for the cafeteria?
None.
We didn't.
We didn't There was like a little, we actually started this year with a balance of like $6,000. There was probably a really small, minute little transfer, because at the end of every year, we're supposed to, the kids that have delinquent accounts, we're supposed to make the cafeteria whole on that. So she usually gives me a list. I think last year it was like maybe $500, but we were actually kind of, we had carryover in there every year. So we ended at about 6,000, I think.
Yeah, we actually, a few years ago, if you remember, there was like $80,000, I think, in that account.
Yeah, we started
And
at
it's-
650409.
Okay,
Yeah, because we had like several years where the beginning cash
Right.
balance was decreased every year.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We were
And
not
then-
overspending, but deficit
Right.
spending each year.
Right.
right. So with the projections that we had, that we were supposed to be nearly 32,000 in the
Right.
hole.
Right.
Then we met, and I met with Ruth Ann, and we adjusted some pricing and started getting it up more,
Right.
closer to the state minimum. And then adjusted the prices for the extras and things like that. So we made great progress. Yeah.
We are
So-
seeing like more revenues coming in, obviously, from the students. It seems that adult participation, teachers, whatnot, that's gone down a little bit. But I mean, overall, we're still doing okay.
I'd say we feel pretty confident that next year we should be, for sure, ending the year in a positive.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Good.
I just met with Ruth Ann already in June. That was another thing I've done, and, we reviewed the pricing again to make sure that we're where we need to be, so.
Okay. Anything else? All righty, roll call, please.
Carrier? Yes. Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Carried, the motion carried, 5-0. I need a motion to approve the board resolution for final appropriations.
I'll move.
I'll
Jen?
second.
Jen and Steph, thank you. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Hicksville Exempted Village School District, Defiance County, Ohio, that to provide for the current expenses and other expenditures of said Board of Education during the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019, the following sums be and the same are hereby set aside and appropriated for the several purposes for which expenditures are to be made and during said fiscal year. Any discussion of all that we don't understand? That's clear as mud. But Melissa knows it's right, so that's all that matters. Roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
The motion carried 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the board resolution for temporary appropriations?
I'd be happy to.
Craig? Craig and Jared, thank you. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Hicksville Exempted Village School District, Defiance County, Ohio, that to provide for the current expenses and the other expenditures of the said Board of Education during the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020, the following sums be, and the same are, hereby set aside and appropriated for the several purposes for which expenditures are to be made and during the said fiscal year. Okay? Roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
The motion carried 5-0. May I have a motion for the sufficient funds?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Jared and Jen, thank you. It is hereby certified that the Hicksville Exempted Village School District has sufficient funds to meet the contract, obligation, payment, or expenditure for the above, and has in effect for the remainder of the fiscal year and the succeeding fiscal year, the authorization to levy taxes which, when combined with the estimated revenue from all other sources available to the district at the time of certification, are sufficient to provide operating revenues necessary to enable the district to maintain all personnel, programs, and services essential to the provision of an adequate educational program on all the days set forth in its adopted school calendar for the current fiscal year, and for a number of days in the succeeding fiscal year equal to the number of days instruction was held or is scheduled for the current fiscal year, except that if the above expenditure is for a contract, this certification shall cover the term of the contract or the current fiscal year, plus the 2 immediately succeeding fiscal years, whichever period of years is greater. Any discussion? She just had to certify we have the money to say the things we have.
I was just thinking, does like schools do this and not have the money to certify? What do you do? Say, no, sorry, we don't?
I honestly don't know what they do, but yeah, they probably, I would think that if you don't have the monies, then you
You're in
either A, don't
emergency.
spend it, or you're in fiscal emergency, so.
Okay.
Roll
I'm
call,
glad we
please.
don't know.
I'm
Carrier?
glad.
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Okay, the motion carried 5-0. Do I have a motion for the Board of Education compensation?
I'll move.
Was that Craig?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. For all new terms commencing after the date of the adoption of this resolution, members of the Board of Education shall be compensated at the rate of $125 for each regular meeting of the Board of Education up to a maximum of 12 meetings per year. No member may receive total annual compensation in excess of the amount prescribed by Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.12. Board of Education members will also receive reimbursement for reasonable and necessary expenses in attending approved training programs and compensation for such training in the following amounts: $60 per day for attendance at a training program 3 hours or fewer in length, and $125 per day for attendance at a training program longer than 3 hours in length. Approved training programs shall be those sponsored by the Ohio School Board Association, the National School Board Association, the Buckeye Association of School Administrators, and the Northwest Ohio Educational Service Center, and such other programs as may be approved by the Board of Education. Any discussion? Okay, that policy is the one that is recommended by the Buckeye Association of School Administrators. That came directly from them. Okay, roll call, please.
Carrier?
Yes.
Iden?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes.
And Wonderly?
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. Do I have a motion for employment of certified staff?
So moved.
I'll second.
Steph and Craig. Recommend issuing a 3-year contract to Kirsten Kaufman as elementary school K-4 principal, commencing August 1st, 2019, and ending July 31st, 2022. Any discussion?
No, but thank you, because I always like how energetic you are. And when I do get to come in on the dance days, I really, really enjoy
It is cute. It is really
I want to
cute.
say thank you, and I am just very appreciative of how much the little kids love you. And they see you, and they hug you, and they're all excited, and you just make them very happy.
Well, I
So-
love them too.
Not when they're in trouble, though.
I
don't know,
love some of those moments too.
I've seen them quite happy to go down and see her, even when they are in trouble.
Okay, roll call, please.
Carrier.
Yes.
Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
And Wonderly.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The motion carried 5-0. I need a motion for employment for Andrew Hunter.
I'll move.
Okay, Jared and Steph.
Jen.
Oh, sorry,
on that
Jen,
one.
sorry.
She beat me to the punch.
Recommend issuing a 3-year contract to Andrew Hunter as middle school principal, 5 to 8, commencing August 1st, 2019, and ending July 31st, 2022. Okay, discussion?
I'm still waiting to pull that prank on you, Mr. Hunter. I just have to wait for the right moment.
I'm just thankful for all three of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Andy, I love when we're figuring out some program or something, you come up with this PowerPoint and you've got it all laid out. And, you know, I know that's everybody's work, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With both of you, you know, I think you were both a little bit of unknown. You weren't here very long before you were in these positions, and you're both are outstanding and really have gone above and beyond expectations. So we are very grateful to have you. And if you guys would like to move over here, that would be even better.
That's a stipulation in the contract, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Andy's actually
Andy's gonna
bringing
bring
his
his little
little one
guy.
here next year, right?
Yep.
Are
That's
you?
awesome.
That's awesome.
That's great.
awesome.
All right, roll call, please.
Carrier.
Yes.
Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
And Wonderly.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Jeff, we like you too.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel left out.
Believe me, they need to be told this.
His contract's not up yet.
I know, but I just, I felt a little bad,
No, it's okay.
Oh, all right. I need a motion for employment of Liz Perna.
So moved.
Okay, Steph?
I'll second.
Craig, thank you. Recommend issuing a 3-year contract to S. Elizabeth Perna as school psychologist commencing August 1st, 2019, ending July 31st, 2022. Any discussion?
She's the first person I hired when I was the superintendent. She's been a true asset.
She's
For sure.
very patient. There's
She's
little that ruffles her.
Very good. And then you heard the Medicare amount that she bills. It's higher than it ever was before that. Not, it just was. I mean, but we went through psychologists like,
Seems when I got on the board, it seemed like we were getting about 20,000 from what I remember. So that's why I didn't know, how much we were doing now, which should be more than double it probably.
I have sat with Liz in meetings, and she is excellent with teachers, but she's excellent with parents. And that is such an asset to our community.
We're very lucky to have the whole family.
Yes. All right, roll call, please.
Carrier.
Yes.
Iden.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Mazer. And
Yes.
Wonderly.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0. I need a motion to approve the supplemental contracts.
I'll move.
Okay, Jen?
I'll second.
Jared, thanks. Recommend to approve the following supplemental contract for the 2018-19 school year. Wait, is that right? 18-19?
no.
1920.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh,
2018-19 school year, Sandy Brown, Land Lab Coordinator. Recommend issuing a 1-year limited contract to Paul Overmeyer as classroom teacher with 9 years of experience and a master's degree for the 2019-20 school year. This will be for 30% of a workday and shall be for the position of co-athletic director. Recommend to approve the following supplemental contracts for extended days during the 2019-20 school year to be served before and after the scheduled school year. Mike Blue, 12 days. Robin Chamberlain, 10 days. Jeff Hott, 10 days. Matt Hoffman, 25 days. Zach Kohlmeyer, 10 days, band camp. Marilyn Leone, 10 days. Aaron Montgomery, 5 days. Paul Overmeyer, 10 days. Jeff Schaefer, 35 days. Recommend to approve the following as 50-50 middle school summer school instructor for 1 week in August 2019. Mike Altman, $27.55 per hour, not to exceed 45 hours. Recommend to approve the following as kindergarten Jumpstart camp instructors from August 12th to August 16th, 2019. Sandy Brown, lead instructor, at a rate of $27.55 per hour. Recommend to approve the following supplemental contracts for the 2019-20 school year. Mike Altman, assistant junior high boys basketball coach. Sean Bergman, assistant golf coach. Dave Blue, assistant boys basketball coach. Mike Blue, co-high school student council advisor. Sandy Brown, district mentor coordinator. Robin Chamberlain, co-coronation advisor and co-assistant athletic director, 70%. Heather Chapman, senior class advisor, 1/3. Kirsten Kaufman, musical director assistant, elementary. Mackenzie Coleman, co-assistant junior high girls basketball coach and co-head junior high girls basketball coach. Emily Finzer, Hicksville Initiative House Leader, exemplar. Chris Gagan, Hicksville Initiative House Leader, Satia. Joy Geiger, co-coronation advisor and Hicksville Initiative House Leader, Karaji, and foreign language club advisor. Elaine Gherkin, National Honor Society advisor, co-high school student council advisor, and drama club advisor. Jeff Hott, co-athletic director. AJ Clausing, head junior high boys basketball coach. Kathy Laney, senior class advisor, 1/3. Academic team advisor, high school yearbook advisor, newspaper advisor, and science fair advisor. Ryan Miser, breakfast coverage and assistant girls basketball coach. Paul Overmeyer, co-athletic director. Emily Reese, junior high student council advisor and co-science club advisor. Emily Rodesh, musical director for the elementary. Jared Rosebrock, elementary student council advisor. Lucas Smith, co-assistant athletic director, 30%, and Mini Aces football coach. Joey Stevenson, Hicksville Initiative House Leader, Amici, and art class advisor. Heather Taylor, sophomore class advisor, 1/3. Tony Tier, Mini Aces boys basketball coach. Brian Wonderly, co-assistant football coach. Natalie Zachrich, co-science club advisor. Recommend to approve the following as LPDC committee members for the 2019-20 school year. Jeff Hott, Matt Hoffman, Andy Hunter, Jeff Slattery, Beth Stuckey, Brent Sufel. Recommend the following as high schools that work and making middle grades work committee members for the 2019-2020 school year, to be paid for from the high schools that work, making middle grades work grant fund. Nikki Bosselman, team co-chairman, $200. Robin Chamberlain, team co-chairman, $200. Andrew Gahagan, team co-chairman, $200. Jeff Hott, site coordinator, $250. Andy Hunter, team co-chairman, $200. Marilyn Leone, site coordinator, $250. Paul Payne, team co-chairman, $200. Emily Reese, team co-chairman, $200. Jeff Slattery, team co-chairman, $200. Brent Sufel, team co-chairman, $200. Recommend to approve all middle school, high school certified staff as Friday school teachers for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve all middle school, high school certified staff as Pride teachers for the 2019-2020 school year. Recommend to approve all middle school, high school certified staff as 0-hour teachers for the 2019-20 school year. Recommend to approve the following as district mentors for the 2019-20 school year.